the game here if it'll let me. Let's try this again. Good morning. Good morning. I started. But then the software froze up, and I went back in, and I think I actually could have rejoined, but it was all womperjawed. So anyway, welcome. I'll go see if we can working over here on X now. Hopefully, let's see here. Anyway, yeah, okay. Looks like it's working. Let me shoot a little GM here in the comments. So yeah, that was kind of weird. It started, and then the software that I used to stream froze up on me. So anyway, we are here on a Taco Tuesday. Welcome. I started about 10 minutes before the market opened. Now the market opened 5 minutes ago. So see what's going on here. Anyway, yeah, so hopefully everyone can join normally now, and let's find out what's going on. We'll have to refresh everything here. Find where we're at, people here. Yeah, we were looking, the futures were looking down. They were even pretty much all night, and then they looked to open down about over 50%. Yeah. And it looks like that's what happened. It was kind of all in the last hour or less. Everything kind of turned negative, and it looks like we've opened up negative. Yep, the NASDAQ down 0.52. Computer running a little slow. Like I say, my software froze up a little earlier. The Dow Jones looks like it's down 0.66. Gold down another almost 0.75%. S&P down 0.52. So that all happened last hour. We were actually looking flat all night, more or less, like literally looked to open flat, and then we'll see how this transpires. We look at the news. Hopefully people can join me. I started and my software froze. I couldn't start it or anything. So anyway, let's see. Okay, Bitcoin 76 point for the day. Yeah, like I say, we were still holding over 70. I'll take that, to be honest with you, all things considered. Might have a little bit of a delay here. But of course, I guess I always have a little delay on X, so it's okay. But anyway, yeah, so Bitcoin, holding about flat-ish, down a tad, down half a point. Ethereum, 2156, actually flat for the day. XRP, 41.4 cents, down 1.3. And I've seen this. XRP is a little more volatile. I may play with some XRP with my grid bots. Might be a good way to, if you don't mind holding XRP long term, might be a good way to make some. I made 1% on my whole portfolio yesterday. I usually make 1 to 4% a week, but that little pump we had yesterday, I'm going to try and put some grid bot content out this week, teach everyone how to do it. And I might try it with XRP. I usually use Solana and Ethereum. Speaking of Solana, $91.02. Down, well, up half a point for the day, but like I say, down 0.6 cents in the last hour. So that's kind of what we're dealing with. And I think it's just the uncertainty of this war, People don't know what to believe. Is this just stall tactics? Is this just 4D chess? I don't think people quite know what to make of it because there's such mixed signals. So that's kind of a weird week, to be honest with you. But let's look at Bitcoin. Let's see what the high was. Okay, so yesterday morning, of course, 71,680, but let's see where we were. Yeah, we were still well over 71 till kind of this drop. If we look at it, we're over 71 and we kind of drop, but still, I'll take it. Let's take another quick look at, just go back and see if the traditional markets are getting any better or staying the same. But, yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty, and it's just really confusing as to what's really happening, right? So many conflicting stories. Getting one story out of Trump, one story out of Israel, and another story out of Iran. Of course, I guess it's to be expected. But let's jump into kind of, you know what? I'm gonna have to, since my beautiful, I'm gonna go. When I start, it'll give me a little bit of. Let's see if we can get the news out here. Appreciate patience. If it pops up, well, Elizabeth, we our guy his own app. Anyway, I guess Elizabeth Warren's like really sent him a bunch of her office or her committee she sits on, send him a whole bunch of questions and everything on his app and sell crypto. We know Elizabeth Warren. For those of you who aren't in the United States, she's just a horrible politician. Always hated crypto, always done everything she can against crypto. Never just a horrible politician. One of my, probably other than Adam Schiff, pencil neck Adam Schiff, probably my least favorite politician. I really do not like this lady. And here she's coming at Mr. Beast. She's trying to put pressure on him, but luckily Mr. Beast has plenty of money, lots of support, lots of fans, and he can get the right lawyers. He responded that, of course, he's trying to be compliant. But anyway, this kind of stuff is just pointing. Done it since I got back. You guys can hear me okay? And hopefully, anyways, look, with that, we are we're off and going. You know what? Like, easy spin. Probably no guy. OG. Cardone on last night and was talking to Grant about, Grant does these things where and for a real estate kind of investors to Bitcoin. And then real estate and talked about tokenizing. I asked him about it. He's kind of looking at more as a secondary, primary way to like he actually said that Bitcoin kind of has a marketing problem, and I agreed with him. So it was interesting take from billionaire bro that. And after he left, we were about it, charging wealth, and Easy and a few other guys up there, and said, where we can get the marketing from, and I really think it's going to come, much as we hate them, from Wall Street and the banks and stuff like that. They're going to be our retail marketing because it takes, education. A lot of normal people aren't out there yet. So anyway, also Hyperliquid Hype, one of my coins that I've definitely been stacking for the last year and a half or so. I think we talked about the fact that they kind of pivoted and let people start trading oil futures. And check this out. Hyperliquid oil perps explode to 1.7 billion daily volume. Traders flock to 24/7 WTI exposure during weekends and market closures. So super successful. Example of what the blue, much superior to the regular traditional market rails. So just another example of why we're early and why this thing's going to work. I was looking for you. If we can find it, we'll take that. Some of these pages didn't reflect, but yeah, I don't know if you saw it there. Getting a Browning firm out there. So there's going to bring four. Obviously, they're losing a lot of ground to USDC right now. Circle and USDC want to become US compliant. You know, I think they even are going to have maybe a different stable coin, but they'll transit over. But yeah, USDC, and I don't believe their normal USDT is going to be compliant under these new regulations. But maybe they will be. I don't know. I think, you know, have started the stream, got it set up too early, but there we go. So here we are in greed. We've been 50 days. I argue that one of those days we were in regular fear, got it, which is about 25, but basically extreme fear. Yesterday we were 8, a little better, but it just really emphasizes how confused and how kind of tough to navigate this market is. So I personally advocate for buying extreme fear. With Bitcoin, it's almost always a good idea. Always has been. You never know what the future brings, but this was interesting. This part of the mixed messaging we're getting out there, right? An Israeli official said yesterday that a deal to end the war, the Iran war, does not appear tangible right now. The Iranians are not in concession mode, and the negotiations may be an Iranian tactic to buy time for more strikes, which is exactly what they're saying. They're saying that Trump's buying time. But anyway, the same day Trump said, you know, they're not in of after Trump's thing yesterday, year no, that's not really good. Trump doesn't want too strong of a dollar and doesn't want too high a yield on these things, even though it appears it would be good. Really not, and you know, kind of gets us back to the 7% mortgage, $4 gas. The bond market says the war is unsustainable. Not going to help with the recovery that Trump's trying to do. So I Canada notices. So I'll be having this with my new fiber optics, my new thing. I think it's more my computer from that software, the streaming software freezing. But anyway, hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Appreciate you joining me live or listening to. But Australia's third largest pension fund just said it will explore investing in Bitcoin and crypto. They have 2 million members and 150 billion in assets. If you buy now and hold your Bitcoin, it's all these big institutions, these governments, these states, these sovereign wealth funds. They're going to be the ones buying your bag. They're going to be what drives the price from here to $1 million. And that's why I want to see you do that. That's why I see good news like that up. Yeah, it seems like I checked the track. Some ships are getting through. they've successfully set up this toll booth, and they're charging $2 million, and they're charging in Chinese yuan, and they're kind of doing the kind of mob type tactics, and they are letting a few people through. So I think these ships carry a couple $100 million worth of oil. So I think for them to pay a $2 million it looks like my stream's getting messed up. Yeah, I think I'm having a little bit connection issue. I'm just hoping that you guys can hear me okay. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. Hopefully it's not a terrorist attack. That's I'm really interested today to hear any more information about this. It happens from time to time, but when it happens right now, like I say, you wonder if there's some total technical mess. Um, $1 billion fund identity. There's probably some transfers of large. I don't think it's going to pop up, but that was what talk about. Trump obviously could do. They could probably work genetic aid, but that's worth looking into own. Yeah, see, I'm not enough that I want's pulling up. The next one was Larry Fink, talking at one of his meetings for BlackRock, or the yearly meeting or whatever. He said half the world's walking around with digital wallets. Imagine if that could let you invest in a broad range of companies, right? Larry Fink's really kind of the Michael Saylor what Michael Saylor is to Bitcoin, and I'd say what Tom Lee is to Ethereum. Larry Fink, man, he's always talking about tokenization, real world assets. He's kind of the guy for that. The U.S. housing market, 30-year mortgage rate climbed back to 7% for the first time since August. So once again, Trump's going to have to, the housing market is horrible. And that affects real estate agents, builders, mortgage people, all the people that work for all these people. It really hurts the economy. So I think we're going to see new multi-rate cuts. And but this is good. The housing market is just horrible, right? And that's not going to get Trump reelected. So just more evidence that we're going to have to once again, not the thing I was looking for there, but interesting. I hadn't seen this one. Bernstein said Bitcoin looks bottomed, sees 226 upside for strategy, for MicroStrategy. That's interesting. I hadn't, that wasn't what I was going to talk about there. I was going to talk about the Saudi Arabia they suspended their navigation licenses for the Arabian Gulf till this thing gets settled. So that's what I was looking for. But that's good news. That's when you have a big research firm saying that, I believe that's a good thing. Here's this interesting perspective. Trump's 5-day pause in Iran war is roughly the same amount of time it takes for thousands of U.S. Marines to arrive in the Gulf, report claims. 2 units of 5,000 Marines are currently en route, joining over 50,000 already in the region. These Marines could seize Iran's Karg Island, cutting off Iranian oil and straits are controlled. Straits are moved. Quins or not. This is what the Iranians are claiming, and I don't think it's without merit. It might be, but I would just say this. Obviously, it's easy to do all this stuff, but when you get boots on the ground, then right now we have what? Like 12 or 14 casualties. When you start putting boots on the ground, one guy with an AK can pose a threat. So, yeah, I don't think that Trump really wants to put boots on the ground. I'd be surprised. But, something a perspective to consider. Like I say, we don't know, and that's why the market's so crazy right now, waving. Delaware introduces a bipartisan stablecoin banking bill requiring one-to-one reserve, monthly audits, AML, KYC, compliance under state banking framework. So they're coming out with some state frame. The audits, man, monthly audits, that's rough. When you're a public company, you have to do 4 quarterly reports, and you do internal audits, but you only have to have an audited report once a year. So that's pretty steep monthly audits, but they it's new and they want to keep track of it. Trump, of course, is sending ICE agents to the airports, and the reports you're seeing and the pictures you're seeing, it's done great. But now they're saying he's starting to say, and people are saying he wants to do this for the elections. Imagine, I think it's a great idea, right? Because of course, no illegal aliens, people not here legally, would dare show up, because just like what's happened at the airport, they're literally arresting people and sending them out of the country. So I think they should keep them at all those places. But certainly the elections are with fraud and person faith. If you have the elections, but when you don't have faith in elections, and I know California, they don't even ask for any kind of identification, address, nothing, just a name and whatever. And it's definitely an interesting thought. And they're probably right. And I think it'd be a good thing. Then after of all the louds in one day, right, at values claim. So it seems to be working. And so I think it's a good thing. And Trump playing his 4D chess. Clarity Act, say there's a deal. Latest draft, it says crypto and banks reach deal in new Clarity Act. The latest draft Clarity Act shows both sides backing a compromise, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but it's rewards tied to stablecoins activity are now allowed, but earning yield just for holding is banned. However, how activity-based rewards will work remains unclear, leaving room for future. It seems like they're putting vague stuff in there so they can fight about it later, which maybe that's how they work. Also, the slide didn't come up. Kathy Woods came out and said, was talking about BTC. She said, look, here's her reasoning why she thinks it's going to do really good. Number one, it's native to the internet, so there's less friction. It's going to work great, especially with agentic agents. It's a global monetary framework, and we're seeing how important that is with war and the different things going out through the war. She thinks that the Iranian war is helping to actually solidify it as a store of value, and she thinks that the wealth transfer, from the boomers to the younger generation, they're gonna lean towards crypto. So that was some of her ideas. Let's take one last look at the market here, if we can, and we'll kind of end this. I got to start my other show. Actually, that's a little slow. Let's look at Bitcoin. See how. Let it refresh here. Yeah, it dropped a little bit. If we look at the hourly chart, 1.2% since the opening. So, look, we'll see if we can hold that 70. I assume the future of the market's probably dipping a little bit. So listen, we're in a wait and see. Not great, not horrible. We'll just kind of wait and see where we're at here. Appreciate you joining me. Apologize for all the technical difficulties. Hopefully we'll get her a little better tomorrow, and we'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy your Taco Tuesday, and have a great day. We'll be back to report tomorrow. And I think until we get some clarity, I think we're just going to we're kind of in no man's land.